Welcome to 100 great Sheffield United goals. Like all clubs, the Blades have had their highs and lows over the years, and during the period we concentrate on here, 1968 to 81, they certainly had their share of both. Either way, sit back and enjoy a vintage collection of Blades goal action featuring some of the men who played their way into Bramall Lane's Hall of Fame.
Edison doesn't have much room, but they're trying to work their way out of it. You see the defenders closing in on them. No chance. They've got a foul out of it, which gives them a better chance. Now they can float one into the middle. I don't know why they did that. I suppose Willie Collin could have done this just as good as Woodward here. But there it goes. It's a good one. Oh, it's a goal! Yes! There's no doubt about that one. A very nicely floated center. And a goal headed very well there by Colin Addison. Well now, Preston North End face another dicey moment. Oh, that's it! Ron Tudor got his first goal. John Tudor headed it in, no doubt about it. Almost his first touch of the ball, and he scored a goal. Oh, nice play there. Badger and Tudor getting in each other's way. There's Woodward. Sheffield United looking much more impressive. And there's a goal! The right half. Jimmy McNabb, that's the best own goal I've seen for a long time. The goalkeeper had no chance with that. Jimmy McNabb's led with Sunderland. And if he did that, you can see why he's with Preston North End. They're not shackling him tight enough. There's another one! As we said, exactly the same situation, but the scorer this time, Wagstaff. Oh, sorry, it's Gil Rees. And a free kick to Sheffield United. Now the Sheffield fans will be expecting another goal quite soon. There hasn't really been any sign of it yet in the second half, but it might come here. Chance! Still got a chance. It's a goal, yes. He anticipated it rightly. John Tudor. Tudor, and there it is. There it is. John Tudor, very early in the game. And as we said at the beginning, the United fans would be expecting a goal from John Tudor. My goodness, they've got it very early. Rees. Chance. Tudor again with the second one. John Tudor, 2 goals. Trying to find the position there. Oh, he's got it. Curry's got it. That's another one, very easy. And 3 goals for John Tudor. To Farrell. Going to lose that, yes. Wagstaff. Woodward. That's it. Number 4. Alan Woodward, no trouble at all, thumping that home. There seems to be plenty of space there. One has a feeling of it that when you've had experience in the game, you begin to feel these things. Oh, there it is. Hemsley's the score. All fallen bodies are buried.
Dave Fowle hooking it away. John Craven trying to get that over. Chance for Sheffield United to break. There's Tony. Alan Woodward going with him. And there's a goal! A glorious goal by Alan Woodward. A magnificent goal by Woodward, and Dave Hatton's wondering how he let that one through. Wanting to get on with it. There's Len Badger. Flicked on by Addison. A chance there. And it's 3-2 with 1 minute to go. It's Tony Curry. And Keith Newton is to take it, to make it. A save, a glorious save by Alan Hodgkinson. What a wonderful save, and all the Sheffield United players swarming round Alan Hodgkinson. What a wonderful save by Alan Hodgkinson. An absolutely magnificent save. Away comes Sheffield United. Pretty inconclusive, that Blackburn attack. Colin Addison, Alan Woodward scorching down, and a chance for Woodward to make it 3. It's there. Number 3. And Blackburn Rovers are being routed. Salmons looking for Kennelly, who's behind him. Salmons emerges and gives the ball to Woodward, who is not offside by any stretch of the imagination. He was never offside, and the referees overruled the linesman, and it's a chance for number 4. And it's there. A good bit of refereeing that by this Wolverhampton referee. There was no doubt about it. Woodward was at least 3 yards onside. Cahoon, Woodward. Up the middle goes Addison, and he's got it, he's through. It's a very narrow angle. And there's a goal, a beautiful goal. Let's pick up the score, it's Gil Rees, I think. Addison made it by putting it across, and a beautiful low header by Gil Rees. Gil Rees again cropping up in the middle there as Colin Addison squared that ball across. Cahoon. That's a chase for Woodward and Brown. Brown's head. Sandy Brown getting his head there. Throw to Sheffield United. Barlow. Oh, good cross. And a beautiful header. It's there! A superb goal! What a wonderful goal by Gil Rees! What a wonderful goal! Oh, Gil Rees has scored a picture goal. Gordon West never moved. Tony Curry. Woodward, and Woodward slips his man. He's going to get to it. Alan Woodward. Addison, it's there! It's there! Colin Addison has done it! A superb goal! Alan Woodward pinpointed that, and it's the head of Colin Addison which puts it there.
Corner then to Sheffield United, and they've really got to get something back before half-time if they're going to stay in this game. Things not looking at all well for this Sheffield United side. Cahoon then, once again, on the goal line. Woodward with the in-swinger. There's one of them. Addison. Badger gets it. Finding their men more accurately now, Sheffield United. This is Curry. Woodward's free here. Addison! Cahoon! There it is! Eddie Cahoon! That's what he's meant to do all the time, and he's done it.
Cahoon. Badger. Curry. And Badger again. Woodward running. And he'll get there. Screwed back for Dearden. It's there. Dearden scores at long last. Sheffield United have broken this stranglehold. Jeff Salmons looks shaping up for what appears to be a long one. Cahoon moving up into the penalty area. Wilkinson and Curry. It's there! They all stood and watched. What an incredible goal. The whole City defence, including goalkeeper McKechnie, watched that ball from Tony Curry roll into the net. Woodward with the corner. Right across the face of the goal. Curry. Chipping it back in. A goal! And it looks like Woodward again. We'll wait till it's sorted out, but I think it's Alan Woodward again. Sheffield United nearer perhaps to a goal-scoring chance than they've been since the opening 5 minutes of the game. Curry to take it. Cahoon, of course, will be up there. There's the cross. There's a header. What a goal! What a masterly goal that was. Beautifully placed. Any moment now. It looks like Bill Dearden has scored it. Pat Jennings taking the ball just out of the area. Curry chipping it over. Flynn was moving in, and it's a goal! It's a goal, it's there! Scramble at the top of the net. It looks like an own goal by one of Spurs defenders. The man talking to the goalkeeper there. Bad bit of misdirection there between Perryman and Mulleray. This is Salmons. Good chip. Scullion! It's there! Wonderful goal! What a superb goal! But away comes Sheffield United. They haven't got much time before half-time if they're going to breach this defence. A defence which has conceded 9 goals in 7 matches away from home. Rees keeping control to Curry. Curry trying one! A goal! A masterly goal by Curry! And you'd have to go through a whole season to see a better goal than that. He's got Dearden in the penalty area to aim at if he wants to throw the long one. It's coming for Dearden, but it's the combination of McCarthy and McGrath that gets there. Pushed back into the middle, a missed kick. Woodward's there! That's it, number 1. Abandoned the Southampton defence. Steele looking very disconsolate there. Martin left with no chance as Woodward was left with only Martin to beat. And just as it looked as if nothing was going to break this stalemate, Woodward makes it 1-0. Curry again. Really getting the taste of blood, I think, now, Tony Curry. A good flick. He's onside. It's a goal. Here's the scorer. In what has been a really splendid second half. Miss kick letting in Dearden again. Dearden going again. There's third. Right on the stroke of time. Dearden makes it 3. Curry with the throw. Woodward lobbing it in. A header. Goal! A beautiful goal by Dearden. Curry chipping it down towards Dearden. Dearden knocked down the flag up. Penalty. 2-0, but he was off the underside of the bar. Hemsley pushing men up into the penalty area. And now leaving it for Mackenzie. Hemsley going to the left. And it's Mackenzie who pushes it up. And in for the goal is Dearden. Beautiful move, beautiful, well-worked move from the free kick. Dearden's out, but the ball is where it matters. It's in the back of the net.
This is Woodward, a dangerous player to give half a chance to. Still with Alan Woodward. And a throw, not a corner. Frank Clark. Back now for Len Badger. And a good effort that, and it's there. Well scored by Bill Dearden.
So Scullion, who earlier this season asked for a transfer from Sheffield United, in for Alan Woodward today. Woodward named as sub. Scullion to take the corner. Good deep one. Eddie flicked into the penalty area, hovering. Oh, that could be an own goal! It is indeed! The goalkeeper absolutely stranded off his line. Looks like Mick Cooper may have put that in his own goal. Dugdale, Scullion, up the line to Curry, was running well. Good break this. Curry trying to take it round his man. Good deep one for the head by Bode. A goal, yes it is. The finishing touch. Right through. Oh, good shot! It's a goal. Dearden, I think, finished it. Dearden, the man who finished it, but Tony Curry raising his arms in the air and following the shot. Who've already been making chances and must expect to make more with Graham Cross off. This is Salmons. That's the low one. Birchinall deciding not to leave it with Shilton behind him. And getting into a bit of trouble. That looked like handball, but the ball's going to be crossed, and it's Rofe again. A half clearance to Curry. Curry trying to work the room for a shot. He's tripped. Penalty. It's a penalty. As Curry was trying to work his way through the penalty area, it's Peter Shilton, England's goalkeeper, to face a penalty from Alan Woodward. Mr. Morrissey not yet happy that everyone is... No, I think there may have been a few words said. Woodward, 1-0. So a spell of fierce Sheffield United pressure. Most entertaining first half, but we're still waiting for a goal. Woodward, that long raking corner. What a good one! What a beauty! I think it's John Flynn. Now Woodward. Badger. Woodward. Curry moving up into the area. Woodward again. Good move. Oh, what a goal! What a magnificent goal! Second of the deadly duo. Flynn got the first, Cahoon the third. Woodward's lost him. Wait the post! An own goal for Mills. Justice was done. Woodward hit the bar. Woodward hit the upright, and Mills, following up, put the ball unluckily into his own goal, and you can see how he feels about it. The crowd in a ferment now, they're loving this, particularly since the home side's in front. This is Spade. Oh, it's two! Field makes it two in a minute. Field. Tony Field going well, riding two tackles and a third. Good running. A great goal, a masterpiece of a goal. Superb stuff by Tony Field. What a corker. Up for Dearden. Yes, a goal. The bizarre events of this match continue. Chance for a quick break by Sheffield United now with Curry waiting for Woodward to run. There he goes, and he's onside. A goal. Woodward does it. Now everybody's onside. They all go surging back into the area. Woodward, a touch, a goal! Dearden, Bradford, Field, Woodward, a shot, a goal! What a beauty! What a beauty by Alan Woodward! Dearden takes it to the left. Dearden running well. Surely, yes, Field the finishing touch. Dearden made it. Eddie. Down towards Field again. Is Field onside? Surely, yes, that is a goal. That's two for Field in 2 minutes.
Faulkner, but still dangerous. This is Alan Woodward. To Field. Awkward one for Spate, but he controlled it well. And that's a good ball forward too.
And there's a chance for Curry. Yes. Appeals for handball as that ball went through. Woodward. Goal! Field. He's 9th of the season. Woodward. Good corner and a great goal. Scored, I think, by Eddie. Woodward to his right, coming for the short ball. This is Woodward out there for Badger. Davis got his hands to it, but it's gone in. Scored by Dearden, 2-2. Good cross by Badger. Put Davis under pressure, and he couldn't hold it, and as it dropped, Dearden got it in. 6 minutes left. Field, and in comes Curry. 3-2! The last word with Tony Curry, and the end of a season of endeavour for Everton. Curry. Cross coming for Woodward, and he's made it! Field a flick. Dearden, a goal! Out of nothing! Now Curry. Leicester prepared to play the offside trap, so Curry had to wait. He found Spate well. Spate, Field, a quick return ball. Dearden missed it. Second chance for Bradford. A goal! David Bradford. Curry's corner. The back header, two headers, surely. Yes, Flynn. Wonderful goal. Eddie and Flynn worked to perfection. Field kept that in, and now Dearden has it. Wants men to run forward. Curry. Curry accelerates. What a goal! What a goal! Sheffield United wanting to get it up the other end. That's for Field, and he's round the back of cross. And down. Penalty. It's awarded. 4. Keith Eddy salutes the crowd, the back of the goal, and it's one more stride towards Europe for Sheffield United. Eddie's header. That goal came in the 28th minute. Here's Woodward putting it up for Guthrie's header. And the line puts in the net. It was certainly over, and immediately within a minute, Guthrie has pulled one back. The goal famine at Bramall Lane is at last broken within a minute of Peter Barnes' goal. Guthrie, Chris Guthrie, gets his 6th goal of the season. Curry to take a free kick, so Stewart adjudged the offender. Curry's punch by McCrell. Penalty! A penalty! Now, what has Mr. Kirkpatrick awarded here? It looks... He's going out to linesman to consult. At first we thought it was a penalty. Yes, it is. Now, whatever that is for, presumably pushing in the box, the only thing we can presume is that either McRae, as he came out, or one of the Manchester City defenders was pushing as that free kick from Curry came over. But whatever it is, and Mr. Kirkpatrick consulted his linesman, Keith Eddy, who's scored from 2 penalties already this season, comes up for what could be Sheffield United's equalising goal. Yes, 2-2. Well, Whitworth caught out. Now can Dearden make something of this? Can Woodward? Yes, at last. 26 minutes into the second half, and Sheffield United, who squandered chance after chance, whose finishing has at times been appalling, have at last made a chance and taken it, and that is Alan Woodward's, believe it or not, first goal of the season, and he becomes only the 5th Sheffield United player to score a goal this season.
Tom McAllister, this is really some goalkeeper. Career interrupted with a couple of broken legs. Field tipping that back, aim for Guthrie, didn't come to him. Little whack after the ball had gone on Guthrie, producing the free kick. Tony Curry rolling it for Woodward. That's a good one! What a goal! Oh, unbelievable! That's fully 35, nearly 40 yards. Sheffield United are 1-0 up. The lazy swing in action then was out of this world. James. A little bit too clever that time. Woodward. Woodward, he's on for a shot. And he's got a goal. That's his second. From just about the same sort of range.
Johnston up towards Woodward. Penalty. Mr. Capey had a good view of that incident and immediately blew as Woodward went down. Let's see as Johnston crosses. Down goes Woodward, and Mr. Capey thought it was a penalty. If Eddie lands this, it'll be his 4th penalty success of the season. Dearden at the second attempt. Steve Goulding trying to force the defence back and find room for a cross. Here's Curry. There's the cross. Oh, it's a good one. Guthrie's up on that and heads it, and tipped over by Cooper. A beautiful move. Guthrie's header. It was Curry who got another choice crossover, swerving away from the goalkeeper and into the head of Guthrie. A beautiful head and a superb save. So Sheffield United looking good now. Here's the in-swinging corner. There's a flick. Goal! Cahoon! What a beauty! Eddie Cahoon lips away. Well, well, Eddie Cahoon, lovely header, then lips away from it. Here's the in-swinging corner, and it's a glorious flick of the head by Eddie Cahoon. In the 20th minute, his first goal of the season, what a valuable one.
Really much appreciated rain. Woodward. A good cross. Guthrie coming in with a header. Chris Guthrie, and he scored. 50 seconds gone. The cross on the far side from Alan Woodward. Beautifully measured, and there was an awful lot of room for the big man, the big number 9, Chris Guthrie, at the far post. And he scored with a fairly simple header.
Now with Garner. Ludlam, Guthrie. And Guthrie again. Nice ball to Woodward. Hamilton to his left, but Woodward tries one, and it's there! Woodward past Bobby Moore, first time with that lethal left foot, and that can't have been more than about 3 inches under the bar.
And now they are giving Sheffield United 1 or 2 things to think about. But Franks breaks on the right. The early cross, now header from Edwards, 1-1. perfect counter-attack. Franks had broken so well on the right, and his accurate cross beating the defender, beating Hoadley, but not Edwards, who beats Jackson. On a Saturday where the crowd's traditionally a little bit down with the extra lure of Christmas shopping, but a fair sprinkling here at Bramall Lane in near perfect conditions despite the wintry week. All credit to the groundsman here, Mr. David Robbins. If anything, perhaps the surface just a little bit hard, just taking a step. Alan Warboys touching it off for Kenny Stevens. Now Alan Woodward. Woodward going on, needing this one goal for the record, and there it is, and what a way to get it! Well, he's kept the crowd waiting for 1 or 2 weeks, looking for this 141st league goal. He only kept them waiting a few seconds this afternoon. Magnificent finishing in true Woodward fashion. Hampson. Hamilton for Garner. Hamilton going again. And in for Guthrie. Can he get there? Yes, he can! Well, Chris Guthrie has been the butt of the crowd. They've certainly 1 or 2 behind the goal there have had a go at him during this first half. Well, he's provided them with an answer. Started by Chico Hamilton. Garner, intelligent player, good cross that always had the defender in trouble. Taylor couldn't reach it. Not a clean touch from Guthrie, but it was enough. This is Mel Blythe. Down he goes. Play on, says the referee, and Blythe out of position, and Edwards is onside. Now, great chance for the equaliser. So, Keith Edwards, as we play the time added on for injuries at the end of this first half. Southampton will claim that Blythe was fouled. They might even claim that Edwards was offside, but he kept his head, side-footed it past Wells. So, 1-1. Hamilton trying to make a run to receive the throw. Here's Hamilton. Now Woodward. Curling that in, and in goes Guthrie! Well, Chris Guthrie will have enjoyed that. No chance for Peter Wells. It all started from the throw. Played back, and Woodward time to measure the cross, and there's no better crosser in the business than this man. But what a fine finish from Guthrie as he went powering in.
And Franks. Cutbush. He's looked as good as anybody for Sheffield United today, without any doubt at all. Franks playing a good ball here now. Played in first time once more. Cutbush nicking it on. Oh, off the post and in by Edwards.
To be taken by John Cutbush. Up for Campbell. Edwards. Now Spate, and it was deflected by Wood. Well, Spate is being congratulated, but it took a vicious deflection off Ian Wood. Edwards worked hard to get the ball to Spate in the first place. There's the shot, there's the deflection, and poor Rod Arnold nowhere. Best looking for Mahoney. Now Cahoon. This time getting away from Lacey. Hamilton arriving for the long cross if he can find him, and here's Hamilton. Hamilton the scorer, and Bobby Campbell there getting the congratulations, and to be honest, it's no more than Sheffield United deserve. astonishing run from Campbell. It got away from Lacey, saw Hamilton coming in, and what about that for a header? And it's 1-1. And it's still with Hamilton. Looking for Campbell, knocking it down for Woodward. And it's 2-1. In the end, a simple finish for Alan Woodward and his 149th league goal, but astutely knocked down by Campbell. Another left-wing cross had set it up, and past Payton. So Sheffield United go in front with a goal from their captain. And I suppose there's always an element of risk, but so far it's working well enough for them. Campbell. Presented to Chico Hamilton. The chance to take on Hurd. Oh, and a beautiful finish again. This time it's Hamilton, but given away to him, and Rovers will be kicking themselves. Hamilton presented with the ball with just one man to beat. That was Hurd, and on the left foot, giving Butcher no chance. Opening up for him on the left foot, and the decisive finish. A splendid goal from Alan Woodward. Well, that's number 151. And coming on the counter-attack. Not his favourite foot, but under Butcher. It's Alan Woodward once again on the goal trail for Sheffield United. Over Ian Dobson. Roberts was in covering behind. Galvin. Stopped by Calvert. Taken up by Keith Edwards. In for Simon Stainrod. And a beautiful, accurate header as Whelans came for the cross, put Sheffield United in front. Well, it was Edwards and Stainrod who were Sheffield United's first choice strikers last season, and now they combine. A beautiful header from Stainrod. His first goal of the season. De Vries again. The cross pulled away and very straightforward for Longhorn, who takes it up again. Edwards is on the side and Longhorn's threaded it through to him. Whelans coming out. But Edwards has ended that barren run. And Dennis Longhorn, the number 10, across there congratulating him. And it should be congratulations the other way as well, because it was Longhorn's pass. Very aware that that Hull were caught square. Edwards was away. Whelans came, but Edwards, keeping his head, tucked it past him. It's 2-0. Perhaps a push, first of all, by Cahoon on Bannister, but United get it away. Now Kenworthy for Woodward. Stainrod and Edwards only up with him. Here's Stainrod. One to take on. Oh, what a magnificent goal from Simon Stainrod. Out of nothing to really pull the game back when Hull looked as though they were getting back into it, and Alan Woodward setting it up with great vision, finding Stainrod on the right. De Vries was the defender who confronted him, and Stainrod was not at all abashed by the situation, and with the left foot drilled it past Jeff Whelans.
Woodward, he might go himself, and he has done. Crude attempted a tackle by Gilbert. And it's going to be a goal. Yes, scored by Campbell. So with 2 minutes left for play, Woodward, through his own initiative, has made a goal for Campbell.
by Hampson, and Edwards might well get there. And in the end, a simple enough task for Keith Edwards. In the 4th minute, Sheffield United get in front. Hampson's floating ball dropping behind Saxby, and Edwards quickly seeing the opportunity. Arnold rather sold himself, and in the end it was an open goal. In all honesty, deserve a point. Campbell away. Stainrod nicely sensing the position of Hampson. Edwards and Stainrod going to the far post for the cross. Stainrod down for Woodward. Well, it's the first shot Alan Woodward's had, and it finishes off Mansfield in the very last minute. Hampson finding Stainrod. It may have taken the deflection on the way past Arnold. Woodward, the gesture of triumph. Chillo on a run and beating Matthews. Back for Moss. Defending by Sheffield United, but not there. Well, they seem to have got it away easily enough, and suddenly it came back for Moss again. Now Hampson trying to launch the counter-attack. Stainrod. Anderson! Yes! On the stroke of half-time, the man who comes back to English football against his former club, Peter Anderson, with time, kept his head onto the left foot. It was clearly deflected, but it'll be Anderson's goal.
Good ball, picks up Matthews, needs to go again. Calvert, chipping ball, and Anderson has equalised. Super goal, Peter Anderson, 1-1. Just over 21 minutes of the second half. Delighted Sheffield United fans, as well they might be, because United are good value for this 1-1 scoreline, particularly in the second half here.
Here's Glavin. Now Parker. Showing too much of it to Peters. Waiting for some support, and it was Houston who spotted it, that Peters was in trouble. Here's Hatton, Butlin's waiting in the middle, and it goes in. Harry Butlin has the arm raised, and Sheffield United take the lead. Well, it was a goal that was surely on the cards. Houston laying it skillfully down the line, and it was Hatton who got in behind the defence, and Butlin and Phil Chambers might just have got a touch as well. Some of the passion of the derby game coming to the surface as Ian Porterfield passes on instructions again, and John Ryan with a belter. Well, Matthews just touching it off, and John Ryan in characteristic style marks his debut with a thunderous goal. Now Hatton, can he turn on this one? Still Bob Hatton, and the old head makes it count. A goal greeted with some relief by the crowd, as Norman can only look disappointedly. Flicked on for Hatton to just adjust himself here, and wrong-footing defenders and goalkeeper. Conroy asserting himself and using the ball well too. Here's Neville, it's 2 against 2. Bob Hatton up with Steve Neville. Hooligan trying to get back. And might it come for Hatton? It does! And credit really to Steve Conroy at the other end of the field, who started that by first of all claiming the ball with great authority, using it to set Neville on his way. The pass just taking a deflection, but it was enough to reach Hatton, and he doesn't make any mistake with those. Ryan. Tibbett. Hatton against Bobby McNeil. Hooligans header going straight to Tibbett, and deflection, and when you're down, that's how it goes against you. Les Tibbett will take the credit for it. Hooligans' header wasn't the best, and the ball deflecting off Stuart Croft. Guided on by Robbins. Kenworthy there before Austin. It really isn't a day to play any football in your own third of the field. And Wigan was balked by Purdy, and the referee letting him go. Hatton waiting in the middle, and Hatton puts Sheffield United in front in the 11th minute. With the conditions playing their part, and the defenders unable to cope with the pace of Wigan after Tony Moore had slung the ball forward. 2 against 1 in Huddersfield's favour, but it broke for Wigan, who cut it back low, and Hatton kept his head and poked it in, and it's 1-0 to Sheffield United. Ryan's corner, and Wigan all alone. Well, he certainly found space there. Ryan's corner. Where was the Huddersfield Town marking? Nowhere near Trent and Wigan, who got over the ball well and planted in his header. John Ryan, who's got plenty of strength. Garner's gone through the middle. Here's Gibbons, touching it on for Hatton. The first chance coming to Bob Hatton, and how well he took it. 3 minutes gone. Gibbons playing his part with a delightful flick. Hatton sized up the situation and belted it over Johns just under the bar. Hatton beaten by Berry. Then Warman's header. Well, here's Moore again. Ryan looking for Gibbons, who looks for Hatton, and the old one too. Put in. Paul Garner. 3 minutes gone, and Gibbons and Hatton combine again. Beautifully knocked on by Gibbons. Hatton wasting no time. Off the underside of the bar, Garner follows it in. Down from Gibbons. Certainly Sheffield United continue to look dangerous when they get forward. Wigan allowed to go on, just check for Gibbons, but he's made the opening, and Don Gibbons, 2 assists, and now 1 down to his own name. And the Sheffield United followers hail a new hero. The conditions held the ball up, but Gibbons got past Naylor and beats Johns on his near post.